Good morning, everyone. How are you, my students? Is it time about the student stories? Welcome. So, Chris wanted to be up here with me while we said hello. So, welcome to Project Service. I'm Jesse Brune. Jesse Brune Haran. I'm the spiritual director. This is Christopher Brune Haran. He's the preacher's wife. No, this is what preacher's wives look like these days. Handsome. We start. Welcome if you're new to our wonderful community. Welcome. It's a beautiful day today, and not to make it special, but it's awesome because Reverend Jennifer Hadley is here, and Jennifer and I started this gig almost 5 years ago. For our first, it was over 5 years ago that we started visioning. But Valentine's Day 2010 was our first service at East West Lounge, which doesn't even exist anymore, except in our hearts. And then we moved over to Here Lounge, and now we're here. So full circle. So we're always so thrilled when she's in town, so we can honor her and let her teach and do what she does so masterfully. And for me too, because I love hearing. So we're going to do a fun format today, so let's get to it. But first we're going to do some announcements so you can kind of get a vibe of what's happening here in the community this week, this month. It's coming up, and I'm going to bring up Kelly Halleck, who is our, just the mom on her now. So Kelly Halleck, come on up. Let's hear it for Kelly Halleck.
We've got, as always, so much going on. I'm so excited. A lot of it I'm going to just say to you, check out the bulletin board and the cards out front. But one of the big things is we've got yoga almost every day. And tomorrow we're actually starting with a new teacher, who's Eduardo. He's going to be 30 in the morning, and he does a flow vinyasa style of yoga. So definitely I would encourage you to go. All the yoga classes.
He's amazing.
He's amazing.
So I'm going to be here tomorrow at 10:30.
I'll be here at 10:30.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah. We're yoga.
Getting her to do the yoga class is a big deal. You know it's good.
So yeah, definitely as I was trying to say, pretty much all classes are $10, but it's suggested. And so, come and donate what you want. If you want to donate 1,000, that's great. If you're like, I want to donate my presence, that's great. We just want to love you and have you here. So definitely that is every. So definitely check out the calendar. Tuesdays are our exciting night in terms of having a lot going on. Tuesdays, we start with the Course in Miracles class at 6. After that, we follow it with what we're calling our life support group. And it's men's, women's group, and it gives you to talk about whatever you want to talk about in your life. It could be, you're going through some things that you want to talk about. It could be you're having a you want to talk about. And then there's usually a speaker who shares their experience too. So definitely check it out. And then we do candlelight yoga after that. I mean, how great is that for a Tuesday? So definitely check it out. We've got a couple special events coming up on the 29th. And where did I lose Chris off to? There's Chris. I'm going to have him talk for a moment. We have a writing with one of his teachers. So.
I said this before. She was here last week. For a lot of you who saw Cole Kasdan, she's my teacher. She came, she told a story.
How amazing was that last week?
She's a Lost Grand Slam 3-time winner. She's an Emmy Award-winning television news producer, and she's going to be up here for one day. She charges a lot of money, and she's only charging $40 to teach. You know, only 12 people can take it because she wants to be able to work individually with each person. So I think there's one slot left, and I can't recommend it enough. Like honestly, truthfully, like just working with her has really moved things for me. I've been published more. I've been inspired more. So it's just nothing but good stuff. So I would recommend that for anybody. That's my.
Thank you very much.
Club.
So, and the other big event, which I've been talking about most weeks, is our retreat is coming out. I'll say we're filling up quick. We're about 3/4 full right now. So that is in Joshua Tree. If you're in the practitioner program, it starts on the 18th. If you're not in the practitioner program, it starts on the 20th. So practitioners is like $250. Non-practitioners, it's $150. That includes your housing through Sunday. It includes, which is like 2 nights, 3 days for most of everybody. Includes all your meals, includes all the workshops, includes everything. Includes the fire puja, includes we got the fireplace. You know, I mean, we got it going. Definitely, like I said, it's about 3/4 really a fun experience. It's a huge house. We share the house basically with just us, and we get to sleep there. We get to eat together. We get to cook together. Really, really great experience. If you want more information, see me after service. And actually, anything if you want your credit card, see me after service. Retreat. Yeah, if you're like, well, yeah, I don't have quite 150 today. We can break it up. You give me your credit card, you give me dates, and I will just charge it when it's convenient for you. So we're making it super easy for you to be able to. So definitely see me on that. The other thing I want to talk about, which is not an event, but is very near and dear to my heart, is Triangle Square, which is our low-income LGBT elder housing in Hollywood. And I was just looking, we've been doing this for about a little over a year now. They came to us about a little over a year ago and said, listen, our elders are struggling. A lot of them are living on like $800 a month. That includes their rent. That includes their medical expenses. That includes their personal food. And a lot of them are coming down to the point of, well, I have a dog that's my companion at my home, and I have to feed my dog the last week of the month, so I don't eat. You know, and that's something that for me is just heartbreaking. And I'm like, I get it. I got a dog. I would feed my dog too. So, but wonderful elders, and I've talked to several of them, and they are so grateful for what we can bring. And what's amazing, Chris Tompkins, I'm going to have Chris kind of wait because I have him be our Chris goes to the market and he finds like the sales. And so you can give like $5, and that's probably going to make easily 10 meals because he can get cereal and he gets pasta and he gets sauce and we get tuna and stuff that really supports them in being able to eat. And they've said their quality of life in general has improved because they're not stressing about how do I eat this month? How do I, you know, what do I do for food? And so they're able to actually now enjoy being with the people around them and to really grow in their personal lives. So if you're interested in donating, we always kind of talk about this middle of the month because that's when it starts getting where they're starting to run out of their monthly income that comes in on the 1st. Chris is going to go this week and do shopping. And so if you're like, hey, I can give a donation, $5, $10, $500, whatever you can see Chris if it's cash, if it's credit card, just see me. I do all the credit card stuff for retreat and all after service.
Even if everybody in here just gave $2 today, we could really hook them up with a lot. We got a little distracted moving into the new space. We kind of dropped the Triangle Square ball a little bit. So let's all collectively get that back into our consciousness so we can really support the LGBT elders, the people for us. And it's important to, as we evolve into an enlightened community in the space for that, we take care of those that went before us and honor them and support them and make sure that they're eating. And it's a very little easy thing that we can all do. I'll commit today to give $10 just for that to start it off, and if you want to match me, great. Even $1 really can support these our elders. So it's a good thing for them.
I'm going to ask Maureen to come up. We're going to read our mission statement, which is on the back
Good
of the program.
choice, Maureen. Awesome.
Yeah. So Maureen has been, I think we're celebrating our 5-year next month. I keep wanting to say next year, next month we're celebrating our 5-year. I think Maureen's been here like 4 years and 11 months kind of thing. So she's one of our beloveds. And if you can join, stand up and join in with her reading that.
It's on the back of your program.
All right, good morning, everyone. Project Service LA, a spiritual community of like-minded souls, committed to walking our talk in joyous fellowship,
by demonstrating the power of love, compassion, and non-judgment every day in every way. Recognizing the dignity of all life, we stand united in actively liberating humanity, healing judgment, fear, and shame within ourselves. Our intention to create world peace, piece by piece.
So we always say we call it a movement, so move around and say hello to your neighbor.
All right, everybody. Let's have a seat. Careful.
Let's all sit so we can find out where there's open seats.
Chris is getting the board. If you sit, when you're sitting, if you have an open seat next to you, would you raise your hand, please? Great. There's one over here. There's one. Is there two together so these two ladies can sit with each other and hold each other's hands? Yeah, yeah. How about, when you, here, you guys come up here. Would you take that seat? Now we all working together.
Beautiful. Maureen, you have a seat next to you, right? Sorry.
We've come a long way, so 2 ladies can hold hands in church, people. This is what the vision was. All right, so we're going to do our grounding meditation. Oh, thank you. So I'm going to bring up a awesome, beautiful teacher that's going to lead us in our meditation. If you follow it up with a blessing. Paul, also known as Harry the Healer, is here to do our meditation. He's one of our beautiful meditation teachers that teaches Mondays at Club Med Mondays. He's the third Monday of the month. If you have not experienced his, I don't even know what to call it, Harry. Like he takes you to Jupiter and back and around the moon about 3 times, and then you go home. And it's wonderful.
Sometimes.
Sometimes you go, and sometimes you just stay. But tomorrow, it's Martin Luther King Day tomorrow. And in honor of that, Harry and I are actually going to co-facilitate. We're going to be doing a meditation for world peace. And so I invite everybody to come that can. And if there's not room, we'll make room. And it will start with a half an hour of Harry's amazing breath work. And then we'll go into a collective visualization together for to be the vision holders of world peace. That's what we're here to do, yes? But first, before we do our meditation, if it's your first time here at Project Service, could you please stand? It's a painless thing we do. We raise our hands to you. We say, welcome to Project Service LA.
Welcome to Project Service LA.
We know who you are.
We know who you are.
In a beautiful and unique way.
You are a beautiful and unique way.
The divine is expressing itself on this planet.
The divine is expressing itself on this planet.
We see you.
We see you.
We love you.
We love you.
And welcome you home.
We welcome you
Welcome
home.
to Project Service LA. And here's what you can give you a card. You can fill that out and put it in the basket. We pass it. And also, Chase Bell is here. He's our music guest today. And we have to really just give him some love today because we had our music guest Patsy is just thriving working on a beautiful score. So she's literally meeting a deadline today. She couldn't be here. And she called. She goes, I'm so sorry. And I happened to be at tea with Harry. And he's like, I got the new thing on the scene if you want. And I was like, yeah, great. And 10:30 this morning, Chase showed up. So I'm going to invite you, Chase, to go ahead and take your seat there. And after Jennifer prays, you can just go ahead and do your first song. So plug in and then jam out. Harry, would you like to come up here? Play in music too.
Well, I thought I would do something in keeping with what Jesse and I are doing tomorrow. World peace is really needed. Yes. It's like we're the Titanic headed for the iceberg if we don't turn it around. And for all of us, each one of us individually, it's important that we feel peace and operate from that foundation, that platform. So, close your eyes. Take a deep breath. Breathe in. Fill up your lungs, fill up your belly. Breathe all the way down to the bottom of your spine. Let go. Inhale. Exhale. Tuning in to that presence that expresses itself in, as, and through. imagine a band of angels caressing you, whispering in your ear, you are loved. You are loved. You are lovable. You are powerful beyond measure. And anchoring in love in this moment, radiating. Love is maximal. It extends through the entire universe in this moment. Breathe in. Relax your tongue, relax your jaw. Notice any tension in the body. Breathe in. Tuning in. And in the middle of your mind, imagine a little ball. And watch this light as it grows larger and larger until it covers the entire inner vision of your mind. And with your next inhalation, allow this golden elixir of light to expand and include every cell in your being. From the tips of your toes to the top of your head. Anchored in the core of your being. Radiating this golden elixir of light. And with your next inhalation, allow this golden elixir of light to spill out into the room, including everyone here. Remembering that there's no place where you stop and another one begins. In fact, let that golden elixir of light fill every corner, every crevice, until in your mind's eye, the entire room is just radiating this golden elixir of light. With your next inhalation, allow it to spill out into the neighborhood. In fact, all of America. Let it go all the way around the world. Until in your mind, you see the entire planet Earth radiating this golden light and extending from your heart peace to all everywhere. Feel it. Radiate. Extend it out. And allow this to be a holy instant, a holy moment that you can decide and commit in this moment to peace. Go first. With this vibration, this energy radiates from the deepest level of your being. In a moment, I'm going to ask you to hold this, but not yet. When you gaze forward and utilize your looking out of the side and begin. Now notice the atmosphere right here. Notice the peace. Notice the connection. Notice the unified quantum field. One presence, one power, one spirit, one mind that you're never separate from. Breathe in. Now you can smile. Extend the
So how good it is right now to allow ourselves to be in the flow of love. What I know for each and every one of us is we're dedicating this time to our healing, to our expansion, to our life of love, freedom, to our life of joy that is unconditional and unlimited and unprecedented. We open our hearts to surrender all that no longer serves us. We gather together for a holy purpose, rejoicing in the love that we are, willing to see that love in the light, to feel it, to recognize it. We're grateful and thankful to know that we are blessed and that we are blessing each other, choosing to be the change that we wish to see in the world, knowing that it's already done in the mind of the infinite, that every bit of blessing that we share with all beings, we simply allow the blessings to be and let them be.
You know me. I believe that love is all we need. You are high and power. Be my savior, and I'll be yours. Whole life flashes before me as I hang on. I don't know if I can last long. Scared to see me alone. And I can't go back to where I've been before. It's here, someone who wants me near, someone who cares. I love you, you. I believe that love is all you need. You are rich and I am poor. Be my savior and I'll be yours. Incurable from the disease. If I was you, I'd run from you. Since you stayed me to have it soon, it's sad. It seems I found my savior after searching low and high, in front of my eyes, in the nick of time. You know me. I believe that love is all we need. I am poor. Be my savior and I'll be yours. Just grab a hold onto me and don't let go. Save me from the fire. Hold onto me and don't let go. Love can cure the incurable. I know you.
Yes, God. So, here we are. I think, oh, you got it, Joshua Pickle. Format that we lovingly call the dueling ministers. We're going to offer one teaching, and then at the end, you guys tell us who was right and who was wrong. I don't play that game with Jennifer. The invitation here is to play with the idea of one-mindedness, and that there is one truth, there is one mind, and that we allow ourselves to access that and allow to come through two teachers. And in talking with Jennifer, she's always shared in her teachings how monumental King's messages were for her, which we have a lot of masterful living peeps here today. Actually, as a exercise, have us read his speech, loving your enemies, out loud to align with the energy and the heart of that teacher. And it was a really powerful exercise and one I'll never forget. I value so much. And so I thought, since it is tomorrow, it'd be great to allow that sermon, loving your enemies, inspiration for today's talk. So I'm going to invite everyone to just place a hand on your heart. Close your eyes and take a deep breath in. Exhaling and just to the loving presence, which is our inherent nature, the divine wisdom that every one of us, releasing any thoughts of lack or limitation, so that we can stand in the truth of who and what we are, expressing through us now, handing this authentic self, our spirit, trusting that the perfect conversation is unfolding now, activating a higher level of listening, the highest level of listening, to support the perfect healing right here, right now. In grace and gratitude, we go forward with an open heart and open mind. And so it is. So Jennifer will share for 10 minutes, and after 10 minutes, a loving little, sweet little chime will go off, and then I'll go.
There's a seat next to Jeff.
Oh, okay, thank you.
And we have one over here. We have one over here.
Seat over there too. Ah, boy. So one of the things you might not know about Dr. King and his journey is that he was very, very much influenced by Mahatma Gandhi, the nonviolent movement in India, and Gandhi's and all the people who participated in that in India. He was extremely inspired by him. Actually made a trip to India, and he studied nonviolence with Reverend James Lawson, who's from Los Angeles, that I also studied. And one time, Jessica took a group of people to study. And so, because he understood the power of nonviolence. Now, what you also may not know, that Gandhi took the teaching of nonviolence from the teachings of Jesus. And Gandhi said that one of the most influential, one of the teachings was Jesus' Sermon on the Mount. And he studied it. It was extremely dear to him. So this teaching of nonviolence enemies. It goes back, of course it goes back before. Jesus, that was a teaching that he gave his life to, literally. He gave that was his message of his life, was to have no enemies, to love unconditionally. And if you practice unconditional love, then there is nothing to forgive because there's no judgment. So that's the teaching of let he who is without sin. So have no judgment, and then there's nothing to forgive. Very simple for myself. Many of us have struggled with forgiveness for decades. Anybody struggle to forgive something that happened to them decades ago? Yeah. Do you know what it is? A pile of judgments that you hold dear, that you're afraid of. We become fearful that if we let go of our judgments, that we will be so vulnerable, that we'll be taken down. We'll not be able to survive. We won't have the strength to stand up. Our judgments become an armor around us that we think holds us up. But nothing further from the truth. When we release the judgment, release that armor, then we're actually able, it's like, imagine that you were carrying a coat, wearing a coat that was ugly and dirty and smelly and infected with bacteria, and it weighs 1,000 pounds. That's a good idea of what your judgments actually are to you. And I know this because it's non-judgment every day. Especially if you spend a lot of time with Jesse, it's required. Sorry, that's how it began with Jesse. He used to say things like that all the time, so I'm just channeling Jesse. No, but it's true. It's true. We think that without our judgments, we'll be vulnerable. However, when your heart is completely open and you have no judgments, you are in your strength and you are in your power. And nothing can lose you, which is not the teaching of the world. It is not the teaching of the world. So people like Gandhi, like Jesus, came into the world in order to teach us the truth. And that is the truth. So what did he do? He studied, going back to the teachings of Jesus. He was a Christian minister. He was a reverend. He was a reverend he was never a political leader. He was never a leader. He was a reverend. What he did was he studied the teachings of Jesus, and he loved them so dearly. They meant everything to him. He could not be still about them. He was here to be a liberator. Just as Jesse is a liberator, as am I. And I dare say, so are you, or you would not be in this room today. Amen. And so the only thing there is to liberate is opinions and judgments. Those are things that find us in this world. They really are, when you boil it right down. So you can see that what Dr. King demonstrated to us was how to millions of people, and particularly thousands of people, who went through nonviolent, Jim Lawson and others, in order to be able to do the lunch counter sit-ins, in order to do in order to be able to lunch counters while people were putting out cigarette ashes on their head, poking them and saying the most to them. They sit there and be calm and demonstrate that love is the power that I carry. Refuse to hate the hater. I'm going to stand in love because I know that only will redeem the hater. Only love. Now, everyone in this room has probably had an experience like I have, where someone hates you, return hatred, or you internalize, which just perpetuates. And you also have probably had an experience where it was hateful to you, and you opened your heart and you forgave them, because you decided it was more important to you to be loving and to be free. So we all have of this, but how many of us dedicate our life to it? Is that the thing?
Exactly.
So there is that within us, which actually is already dedicated and just waiting for our full-blown yes to it. The full-blown yes. This living this life of transformation and being a healing presence in your own family, in your own workplace, in your own apartment building, in your own world. And you know, it takes a lot of support for most people to be able to say yes and maintain it, which is why we come together in spiritual. My spiritual community is so powerful and so dear to us. It's important to recognize that you come here to provide, not just to get an inspirational message or to get a motivational message, but to join with others, to strengthen your own heart and capacity to love and be loving. It's the most important work that you can do. And I really believe that it is the work of the LGBTQI community in the world right now, that everyone who has manifested on this world in this earth as other, let's say, to what some people have said is the best way or the good way or the only way, that you have come to be a way shower and a teacher, that no matter what happens, you won't hold that bitterness, that you won't hold life of lack and attack, because you've experienced how painful. So you're ready to let that go forever and to actually be what you intended to be in this world, with healing, powerful presence in this world. And let me just tell you, you have everything that you need to do that. It is pre-installed in you. Nothing that can prevent you from doing it except your opinion or judgment that you need something else, that you don't already take. That's the prevent you from living your destiny. What is your heart's calling? That's the only thing, is your belief that you don't have it already, that you somehow need some certification, that you somehow need that you somehow need to let go of something. Really and truly, it's just about true self, being willing to see your true self as you truly are. Now, there's a time coming. How much more time do I have?
50 seconds.
Okay. You have this precious gift. You have this precious, precious gift. It is the world's greatest treasure. It's, kingdom is you. That's what it says in Course in Miracles. You are the kingdom. It's already been given to you. 100% already been given to you. Now the thing is what are you doing with it? What are you doing with it? Now we think we have to do something in the world and influence a lot of people. Absolutely not. Just be the change that you'd like to see in the world. And you can be the change that you'd like to see anywhere you go. I was in Starbucks, and I know that there was somebody waiting in that line that thought, ah.
That was it. That's all she had to say about that. I'm reminded of when we were walking together, through the Prop 8, the effects of Prop 8, and how painful a lot of us. And I realized, just starting this game, that we were on the cusp of a healing. Of a healing just within ourselves, but in the community. And what a wonderful playground we now have. This that is telling us that we don't have the right to marry the person that we love. And I don't know about you, but that brought up some stuff for me. I had some thoughts about that. And that I was directing those thoughts towards organizations, other other belief systems, and what the message became at Project Service LA, the result of some practice, commitment, is the understanding, the revelation that those who seemed to oppose us, which is impossible, opposition, those who seemed to oppose us were offering us the opportunity to heal the thoughts and beliefs within ourselves that we were projecting on. So, what that meant to me was whenever I felt myself get activated by someone saying that I was the institution of marriage, if I felt myself get activated, I had to ask myself, why am I getting activated? And what I came to understand was I believed them. There was a part in me that was afraid they were right. There was a part in me that was judging myself. And so I began to get grateful whenever I was irritated. And luckily, I am able to continue that practice today with anything that's annoying. Because I know within that slightest annoyance lies the key of freedom, of peace, and love. Yes?
Yeah.
So, what we began to do as a community, and I really felt that this was, I began to understand what spiritual community was for. We were learning to access the truth within ourselves. It's so best. Okay, we practice patience here. We also love to move whenever we can. Oh! Hello, ready? 1, 2, 3. Hello! Okay. I have a husband too. Okay, so what we began to practice as a community was, one, not taking ourselves seriously. Thank you very much. Able to have a little fun and playfulness, which is so important, key ingredient to life, which I really value today. But also, whenever we were activated, whenever we were listening to people say things to us, we stopped and said, do I believe that's true? Do I believe that's true? Am I willing to release that belief about myself so that I can experience freedom, so I can get to doing what I'm here to do, which is to practice unconditional love, and to see when we really understand that we are all innocent. Think about that. Really contemplate that, because it really is an invitation to just freedom, guys. Everyone is innocent. Then we must ask ourselves, if we're all innocent, then that means they're innocent too. And then we have to ask ourselves, have I ever lashed out at someone and tried to because I felt so good about myself? I feel so great. I think I'm going to ruin someone's day. I think I'm going to attack a whole race or group because I feel great about myself. No, usually there's a little fear or confusion. And so what we get to do, knowing what we know, is strengthen the muscles of true compassion, which is really, as I know it, practice it, the muscles of remembrance. I remember that we're all innocents, and I remember it for whoever it is in front of me, even if they are yelling. And if they are yelling at me and I feel ignited or triggered or activated in any way, invitation to join with them in love, to release that which no longer serves me. And the most interesting thing began to happen. once I really began to heal those thoughts, beliefs, and identifications in myself that no longer served me, that which would told me that I was less and had something wrong with me, that I was an alternative lifestyle. Once I started to really heal that, with less and less was I being confronted with those messages. But I seen the signs, there was someone in my face. It was interesting. It was as if by magic. It was as if my world was reflecting my back to me. And I don't know if people were saying it less or if I just wasn't picking it up because I wasn't interested in that because I didn't believe it to be true about myself. And now when someone posts on Facebook atrocities that someone is saying from the pulpit, I don't go into anger. I go into compassion. Because I know the potential to us when we move from love. And as someone that stands from pulpit-ish thing up here, I understand responsibility. Responsibility being, as Jennifer taught me, to respond in love, to teach love, representative of love. I just watched a beautiful TED Talk. John sent me. What was her name? The drag queen? Handy Bliss. Oh, from Dublin. It was a TED Talk in Dublin. And she was talking about how she has never held her partner's hand. Never. And it was just that simple gesture that she wanted so bad. And she said that every time she did, she felt like it had to be a statement. And she was tired of making statements. And she just really hold her partner's hand like she was in danger capacity. That made me realize what a gift we have here in Los Angeles. I've never had to think twice about holding Christopher's hand ever. One, because of the belief that I have that he's a big, strong man, so I'm fine. I feel very safe. But two, we have done the work here. We have done the come together, and our collective intention of loving ourselves completely has been manifesting in marriage equality. And that's due to work. I know the work that we are doing in rooms like this, in communities like this, where we need to love ourselves unconditionally, where we are not willing to make an enemy. So when I hear love your enemies, I'm saying release the idea that there is an enemy out there, but we are surrounded by teachers who are always giving us the opportunity to practice deeper levels of unconditional love within ourselves, that are inviting us to look at what are the belief systems in our life that are keeping us imprisoned. If we're truly interested in being free, letting ourselves out of prison, it comes from our commitment, our willingness and interest to see our brothers and sisters as innocents until, like the Course in Miracles says, we will see the face of Christ or perfect love or innocence reflected before us. Liberation. Yes. The vision that King had for us, and that's the vision that we are deep in here at Project Service LA. And so I invite us all this week, even this week, and you are living your life, if you feel activated judgment. It says if you're upset, there's 3 kinds of judgment, and if you're upset, you're either in someone else's business. There's 3 kinds of business. There's my business, your business, and God's business. And anytime probably in someone else's business. Right? You can trust that we are all on the path, that our greatest good. Jennifer said this to me. It was one of the most. It changed my life. It was during our wedding, and there was a blizzard on the East Coast, and Chris's parents were stuck there, and it didn't look like they were going to be able to come to the wedding. And I sat down in the middle of a busy. And I just put my focus in there, and I was like, I don't know. I don't think I can get through this. And I called Jennifer. I was like, listen, I understand there's attachment to let go of, and I want to live in non-attachment, and I want to hold on to any vision or fantasy that I have of things happening. But letting, please, flawlessly. And she said to me, she goes, honey, once you believe that the best case scenario is always unfolding, then you give it space to show you why. But you have to believe that it's the best case scenario. And when she said that, I was like, holy cannoli. What does it look like? And I really invite you to consider this. What would your life look like today if you knew that the scenario was unfolding? 5 minutes.
Exactly. So the highest and best is always unfolding, and unless you won't allow it. So, and I had some difficult challenges, things that kind of caught. And so I went within, like talking about, to give thanks for the opportunity to heal whatever created life, the belief, the thought, the karma. And then I just said, well, I know I'm choosing the highest and best in every moment that I can see. So this has to be for my highest and best. Therefore, there's no concern, there's no worry, there's no upset. Okay. Transform so much. Now, I used to a different approach, which was trying to manage and manipulate circumstances to be the way I thought they should be. Extremely laborious. It's energy is often money consuming more. So, but you have to practice it. It's something you get the hang. And one of the things that's so important here in this loving our enemies message is that if people are coming to you and in any way disrespectful, is there in any way judgmental, is there in any way hurtful towards you? Two things are going on. One is you're there as an opportunity to help them heal and transform their thinking by being the love and the light that is your true identity. That's what Gandhi, that's what King, that's what Jesus taught us how to do in circumstances, which is why they're three of the most successful people who've ever walked the planet.
Yes.
So why they're so much admired. Was their life easy? No, it was not. Do you think that they lived in deep and profound every day? That they were living the life that they were living? You bet they did. Because there have been times in my life when I got a phone call or a situation or a circumstance, it was really like, ooh, take a breath. How am I going to handle this one? And the only way was to completely partner up with my higher self and say, available for whatever is to flow through me. And then it would flow through me. And it was amazing and miraculous every time. And after that event or that circumstance, that conversation was over, I would literally get down on weeping. It's still time to time. Weeping. I was able to live the highest and best. That I made myself available for love. That I said yes. Instead of saying, I don't have time to talk to you right now. Or I don't want to talk right now. Instead, I just said, yes, I'm available. Because I used to shut it out all the time. And that's why I was miserable. It wasn't, I didn't have the perfect body, or I didn't have the right amount of money, or I didn't have the right job. None of that had anything to do with my happiness. My 100% to my willingness to be loving and compassionate every moment. It always will be. Pick up 100,000 stories about, well, my legs don't work, Jennifer, or I'm willing to use my eyes, or the love of my life was killed in an accident, or died suddenly from a disease. We can make up any story we want that our happiness is connected to that. It will never be true. It's just the story we made up. Things that happen to us are there to help us, not to hurt us. But until we shift our mind into it, see it. So when people are hurtful or hateful towards you, one is you have an opportunity to grow your heart like the Grinch, right? It bursts the bounds of everything you ever knew was possible. And you can say, thank you, God, for this offer. Thank you, God, for this gift. To have an unbalanced. That's what I'm in. The other thing that's going on is it may just be reflecting to you what you believe about you, which is what Jesse. And don't you know? Don't you want to shine the light into every nook and cranny of your awareness that says there's something wrong with you, or that you're bad or they're not good enough or don't deserve perfect. Don't you want to put a big freaking spotlight on that so that you can shine the light of love so it dissolves? So wouldn't you, if you had a fest, disgusting mess growing in your closet or under your bed, part of your, wouldn't you want something to come say, God, it stinks in here? And you go, what? I have that smell. I haven't been smelling it. Where is it? Let me find it. Right? Get rid of it. So if somebody comes to you and does or says something that just give gratitude. Thank you for showing me where my mind is in agreement with hatred, with anger, with resentment, with pain and suffering. Figure that out. And how am I going to do it? Prayer. Prayer works every time.
Course in Miracles says that we teach through our demonstration. And so if you're wondering, well, what can I do? So did anyone see Selma? Did anyone else after that be like, what am I doing here? Easy, that was a cheat. But it inspired activation in me. And that's what I identify as. I don't identify as an activist. I identify as an activationist. And what the difference is, it's a subtle difference, is that we can, if we choose to, inspire love through our demonstration. Candace, let's talk about activations here. Candace G in the house. Oh. Hey, I didn't know you. That's so great. Here, Candace is going to be in a couple weeks teaching. We'll get a little bit of that. Oh, great. We don't stop there. Look at this. Mark Anthony Lord, who was the director of the Bodhi Center in Chicago, who's this big center, 800 people come on Sundays. I met with him last week, and he's doing an online summit for LGBT spirituality, and he's asked the PSLA and teach at that. And he said, he looked at me and he goes, do understand that Product Service LA is a movement. He's like, you should know that. He's like, umbrella under anybody, under we're not spiritual, Center for Spiritual Living or anything like that, because I didn't know that's what we should do. We're sort of like, what does that mean? But thank God that unfolded perfectly, even though at the time it felt a little confusing and overwhelming. But what has unfolded, the best case scenario, is that we are free to express ourselves as we choose to. There's no borders now. We get to say in mind, which is really refreshing, and as it is sometimes, you can stand up and say it's time to act. But I invite you all to see, right, look around this room and see this is a movement. You are part of a movement, and it is a movement of love. It is a movement of compassion. This is, as our mission statement says, world peace, piece by piece, actualizing itself. One of our commitment to be more loving and kind when we are at Starbucks, going to work, when we are calling our friends, when we are going out innocent, like me. That is the movement. When you help somebody without needing anything, that is you contributing to the movement. So it is the awareness, the unfoldment of the awareness, of the consciousness, the expansion of the yes that we are all making to be loving kindness and to work through fear as it arises. We can get complicated with a lot of esoteric thoughts, ideas, and philosophies and theologies and stuff like that, and that's fine if you feel inspired to do so. Go forward, brothers and sisters. Do what you need to do, but we can also make it very simple so we can apply it into our day-to-day lives. Do our very best to be loving and kind. And when fearful thoughts arise, we can ask ourselves, is this something I'm interested in anymore? Is this a belief I'm interested in carrying around anymore? Or am I willing to take off that 1,000-pound coat? So be in love. A Course in Miracles says God is probably have said this every Sunday since I started talking. So that's actually our invitation, our GPS, to be in joy, to be in, to allow ourselves to be God guiding itself as we go about our day-to-day life, to develop a loving discipline for ourselves and not going down roads of disbelief about ourselves, to strengthen our practice, to strengthen our commitment to meditate, to spiritual community, so we can practice. It's a spiritual practice, not a spiritual do it on my own, get it all done in one day. Practice, so we get to come here and practice with other people interested and be part of a movement of love, who will speak to that in you, who see you as innocence and honor that in you. And then we strengthen the muscles necessary to support us in being a power, a healing movement, a creative movement. And so tomorrow when we get together for our meditation on world peace, we are aligning with movement to be the vision holders. And we will come together collectively, a world united in love. And that is how Jennifer's teacher, Venerable Dhani, told me how I can be a part of a movement without making anybody wrong, without energizing separation. She goes, my darling, we are simply the vision holders. We hold the vision and we believe it and we participate in it. We align ourselves with the vision and we act as if it is unfolding now. And guess what will happen? It will unfold. 2 minutes? All right.
It's so important about today. It's so light. It's changed my life. It is practice of non-loving compassion. There are times, especially in the beginning, when you will see excruciatingly hard not to judgmental. It will seem excruciatingly hard to be kind, to walk away from the argument, the fight, the upset. It'll be excruciatingly hard not to keep it going and perpetuating it. And so when those moments come, that is your divine opportunity to have an actual break, to shed that 1,000-pound coat and no longer identify with someone who's bad, someone who is wrong, someone who is hateful or hated. You will have these moments. The more excruciating it feels just to be kind, compassionate, loving, the more power there is in that moment for you to have a healing and a breakthrough. And we've all had like, well, what one, God, one more time. I'm just going to fantasize one more time. I'm just going to whatever one more time, right? We've all done that. But it is actually, it's so much more than that. It's a choice between liberation, suffocation. It really is. And when Jesse took my Finding Freedom class, and so I met him on the phone. I was teaching a workshop at Agape, and Jesse came, and he said, can I just talk to you for a little bit? I have an idea. I was actually locked out of the room as it was happening. We were waiting for somebody to come and open the room. And Jesse said, can I just talk to you for a minute? This idea about gay church in a bar, and I just wonder if you'd be interested in it. I don't know if you're straight, whatever, but I don't care. I just think you're funny and fun, and I'd like to do it with you. And I looked at his eyes, knew to say yes, or I could say yes, actually. I could say yes. If I said yes, it would bring benefit and to others. So yes, in that moment, it was no light thing. I had met him for the first time when he asked me that.
We had work to do.
Yeah. And we actually didn't align with any other spiritual community for a reason. For a reason. It was so that you tell us what to do or not. So that we could just follow our guidance and trust it. And we And you can do it too. Not special. We just said yes. Saying yes to love is extraordinary. Very few people do it. If you would like to live your real life, just start doing that every day that you can. If you feel challenged by it, then whatever you can do to do it in that moment, do it. If you need to call somebody to get help, call me.
You make that a t-shirt. Follow me for Chase, I'm going to invite you to switch seats with my husband. And let's go into a prayer. And here's how we're going to do a blessing. Chase is going to continue that blessing through the song. And then we're going to pass the offertory basket. I invite you to give from the resources. So that we all can affirm now the money goes towards good, towards this vision. It goes towards the expansion of this vision, this mission, this movement. And so what a wonderful thing to give to, and what a wonderful, beautiful, plentiful this space of knowing our infinite resource. How good is that? Yeah? I'm going to pray a little bit, so you can join me if you'd like. You can place a hand. It supports us in centering in our heart space, reminding us of where we're coming from. Is the truth of who we are? Isn't it good to know the truth of who we are? Isn't it good to know that there is nothing wrong with us? Isn't it good that we are lovable, that we love loving, that we are? Isn't it good to know our potential resides within us? Isn't it good to know that there's not a limited amount of resources, that we have just been using the amount of that which is limitless? Isn't it good to know here and right now we can stop that? That we can tap into good, which has always been here, which has been waiting patiently for us to say yes to it? We're just saying yes, which is love. What a powerful yes. It's the most powerful yes that you could ever say. And it's a commitment to honor ourselves, to make each word sacred, because it's coming from a loving space. Seeing that every face that stands of each and every the light of God can show. So if you are ready to live in love, lean into and participate fully in this movement of non-judgment, of peace, of compassion, of loving kindness, I invite you to right now with me. Yes. Let's make it a big yes. Yes! Now let's just stay right here, open, receptive, available, of who and Chase Bell on with some music.
Really, what you said, God is just how
I see your tears, I hold you tight, I heard you bend through quite a fight. Girl, take your problems on. All I can give you are the words to the song. All I want from you, sing with me, loud as you can. Sing your from a passing your heart out. Sing every note, just know that I've been there before. I hear your voice, get up. All I can teach you are the words to the song we sing. All I want from you in return is as loud as you can. You can sing all out from a sing your heart out. Go together. As loud as you can, sing your heart out. From a power within, sing
as loud as you can. You can. Heart out, sing your heart out. I wanna hear you say, heart out with me. Sing your heart out. Heart out as loud as you can. You can. From a power. Sing
Thank you, Dusty. Yeah. Offering, place it right here on our heart. This is just a little blessing. And you can take your credit card out if that's how you're doing it too. It's all good. You can see Kelly if you'd like to. And Triangle Square. Just anything money, just see this girl. She's a money magnet, so just so you know. So you'll get magnetized. Holding this offering too close to our heart, we are blessing it. We are blessing the flow. We know that our money is going to good in the world. We honor that, and we know that we give from a space of infinite. And we know that as we give from love, more love is multiplied experience. And we say, yeah, that, we'll do it. And so we give to support the expansion of the awareness of this community because this is a movement of love and peace. And that is what we are. We have said, participating fully in the movement. And so through this contribution, we are supporting that movement and we are supporting this community. We are supporting a yes on this planet. In grace, and gratitude, and love, and abundance. We share all this good with everyone because we are one with them. So it is. Beautiful. Yeah, you just pass it around. Invite everyone to just turn to the person you're sitting next to and look them straight in the face, straight in the eye, and just say, my God, you're gorgeous. Good for you. Ladies and gentlemen, after the basket passes through, stick around as long as you would like. I actually have something happening. So have a beautiful, blessed, wonderful weekend and week. Please come join me and Harry tomorrow right here, 7:30 to 8:30. It's a suggested $10 donation, but it's suggested. Everyone is always welcome. Just come and contribute to the vision of world peace. I love you all so much. High five your neighbor and let's go have a beautiful Everyone, James also has some CDs here that he's offering for a suggested donation of $10. You can feel free to leave him that. And yeah, feel free to share it.
So on the
And he's probably on the same side.
well, you never know. So I'll send you the information.
Yeah, he didn't even.
And then they can because he's in down there with
Yeah.
it's like size of really good. And you can have it. He's a shooting writer, but he used to work for Yeah.
I mean, in the sense of it having it's not an end, but you know what I mean? That they're bad. Then you have to do the healing of the others. That
One more.
that's the hours at work. Yes, a lot of different shows. So nice to see you. Happy New Year, you know. So yeah. Together for sure. Yeah. So that's the thing that's like right now. Next week. But I'll take some.
Let's
It's great.
Rob can help set up the chairs. Yeah,
What's happening?
let's make a circle. We got a couple of bodies.
Grab what?
Let's keep actually let's make these really good all the rest. How are we doing this? Where are we doing it?
Yeah. Yeah, this is the way in the back, and this side will make it good. What do you think? What did you guys get? It was awesome. Yeah, I think we want to do it.
Most of next the big talk in the beginning, and then you don't have to worry about marketing.
Where did you guys come from? Mickey's?
Oh yeah. San Diego.
It's partners he works for with we'll make it a big.
Yeah.
We'll make it a big.
You guys are here for this.
Oh, great. Yeah. Good. Check this out. It's exactly what you do. Yeah. Thanks.
Yes. I'm sorry, are you anybody?
Hey.
How you doing?
Good to see you too. How you been? Pretty good too. Very awesome.
I think this is quota.
Yeah, there's not very many of us.
Masterful movie. Let's make this a little bigger. Let's make it like a nice, expansive.
How many people are here from After Living?
Oh, wait, now everybody's sleeping. Maybe there's not that many.
I don't know.
I just see anything from it.
Handing out.
Might not need this one.
Yes.
Come meditate with us tomorrow for around. Yeah, what's that? 30. But if you're not interested, you've got time for that. This is a thing. Don't worry about it. They want to go dancing or something. That's cool.
Yeah, that's sometimes more important. Yeah.
Really trying to master my manipulation skills.
Yeah. You know what I saw? Exactly.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye. Great to see you.
Have a beautiful day.
Yeah. I can feel, you know, I don't know, I don't know how to say this, other than I feel a connection.
Great.
You know?
Yeah.
Let's keep it up, okay?
Yeah, well, I'll definitely follow your friend on us.
Thanks. What
22.
Yeah.
I'm glad you're gonna sing.
Wow. Every day.
Oh my gosh. It's gonna be just fine. So I
Rob?
yeah. So I
So
was
that personal, you're like, I really
I feel like I just
Right.
that show on. It's actually another first year show on Unity Tension. Yeah, I love it. I love TikTok. Me too. I've done it twice. This is my second time. So I signed up for this time and I listen to the emails when I can, but I knew I wasn't going to do it.